been a project that's been on my mind for a number of years, and seeing it come together means a lot.
We have character in the building, and character's a hard thing to find.
The building is being used the way that it was designed to be used.
We have such a rich texture here in Spokane of historical buildings, and preserving them I think is very important.
We want the Montvale to become a destination in and of itself of Spokane.
I really think this is an opportunity to really bring something special to Spokane, and it's got a lot of great history. Yeah, that's nice. I think it's simple. It'd be nicer. I think it'd be better though if this piece was a little bit wider. I actually bought the Montvale Hotel in '96 and have held on to it ever since, just trying to make ends meet with it.
Rob is extremely passionate about this project. This is probably the one project that he's been the most passionate about, because he really wants to create a unique space in Spokane. He cares about the community greatly, and that's rubbed off on all of us.
As you can see, we've gone quite a ways from what it was. It had been abandoned since 1980, so we've done a lot of work to bring it back up, do a lot of support work, seismic work.
Thankfully, he spotted the Montvale and he said, no, that building's not going to get torn down. It's not going to become a parking lot. Let's try to save something that's worth saving.
Welcome to the Montvale Hotel, one of Spokane's premier historic resting establishments. We don't want people just to stay here, we want them to live here for one night.
I think it's important that when we bring people to Spokane, I mean, really our face that shows when people come here are our restaurants, bars, and hotels, and that's what people see. And you spend more of your time in your hotel room than as a visitor than you're going to spend anywhere else. And I think it's important that those stays are good quality, they're fun, they're interesting, and in some cases there's a lot of activities and entertainment around them. And I saw that this eventually could become something like that. The neighborhood was certainly at the very beginning stages of changing over the last couple of years. And so I think it makes a whole lot of sense to do something in here.
The building itself sits in Spokane in a very strategic point, in that it's kind of an old crossroads for Spokane down here. It sits right next to some beautiful structures. It's right next to the Big Easy. It has the Davenport Hotel, it has the Spokane Club. It's well within walking distance of River Park Square. So it's just one more amenity. And then probably it helps as a king post for the West First project, which Wells and Company started years ago with their developments down on First and Cedar, and it has grown down the street and helped transform this area of town into something not of disgust but of beauty.
When I first came into this project, we had a giant brick building full of basically studs. There were no walls in place. It was just a stud here and there. And seeing that go from that state to a finished piece where people can stay and enjoy Spokane, and that includes people in Spokane too, coming and making the Montvale their place to go for a special occasion, is going to be very fulfilling, because you look at this project and you kind of look at it from a very almost a cold perspective of, okay, we've got to plan marketing, we've got to develop new business relationships, we've got to populate it with staff. You go through all the business things that you have to do, but really you put your heart and soul into it too. You become passionate about the project.
Why do we want to save the past? I think we want to save the past. This is just my opinion, but I would think we would want to save some of our past so that we can learn from the past to plan for the future.
Well, I'm a big fan of revitalizing Spokane, not tearing it down and building something new. Spokane has a unique flavor, it has a unique texture, and I think that we could tear it down and turn it into something that it's not. But I think saving these older buildings is exciting for Spokane, and I think it's something that we as citizens of Spokane need to support.
Welcome everybody to the Montvale Hotel. We're not quite complete yet. It's so great to be able to get away and see how other cities are put together and understand how lots of people from lots of different places all day long and create a really wonderful community. It's a good chance. I'd love to take you guys upstairs and take a look at some of the rooms. Thanks a lot. All right, let's give it a round of applause.
I like the beds. So we can get rid of everything else and I'll just sleep on the beds.
Northwest Bedding has been great because they've participated in the whole idea of creating a mattress that was specific for the Montvale and being able to use that. And you know, it's partnerships like that that make it possible, and it's dedication to helping put this project together.
Well, we came together with the Montvale Hotel because we have a reputation of working with several properties in the area for a 39-year history. We've worked with many others such as the Davenport Hotel, the Hotel Luso, the Coeur d'Alene Resort, many exclusive properties in the area, and have developed specialized mattresses for their properties. Many hotels are starting to look at the sleeping experience that their guests are offered. Years ago, hotels seemed to view bedding as a commodity product. The better properties now, though, are looking at it as something they can offer their guests as a unique sleeping experience. So what we've been developing is pillow top mattresses to give a real luxury feel, and the surprising thing for a guest staying at a property like the Montvale is the great night's sleep they'll get. Many times they find out that after they've stayed at a property such as the Montvale, they go home and they realize what they are sleeping on currently. So it really opens their eyes. It makes people come back to a hotel. When they get a great night's sleep, they want to come back.
Some of the rooms have jacuzzi tubs, some of the rooms have fireplaces, some of the rooms have Murphy beds, which is kind of unusual, but a lot of these old apartments or old hotels would actually have Murphy beds. The building will have wireless internet in it, so somebody could come and have a wireless, open up their laptop in the lobby and use a wireless connection. They could use wireless connection in their room if they want, but they could also plug into the wall. So we're going to merge the high-tech and the low-tech construction into an interesting old hotel.
She's state-of-the-art. She may look old, but boy, when you walk in there, she's got complete data setup. She's got conference rooms that are state-of-the-art with drop-down screens and projection. She's got all the amenities. She's well integrated. It's a neat building because it's a unique combination of private enterprises that are already existing in the building, such as the Far West Billiards and Twilight Room, Catacombs. We really do have some neat feature restaurants in this building.
Obviously, having the Catacombs on site and eventually another restaurant down on the main floor, Far West Billiards and Twilight Room, kind of rounded out in terms of amenities.
The vision of the hotel is to create something that is the best it can be, is unique, and reflects the regionality and the potential sophistication of the area. When people come here from other areas, if they're staying here as travelers or if they're here for business, when they come here, they'll really get a sense of the region. And I think that's what they're trying to do here, is create something that is truly unique, something that's comfortable, but something that's truly unique.
You see that? This is the idea, is that we found this old bookcase in Seattle that we thought would be interesting to put up on the second floor. And either it would be at the second floor and it would be over the top of a door. So this piece here you'd actually walk through. So you'd walk through the middle of the bookcase to get into the room. That's actually a better shot right in there. This would go right above our heads here. Or, so you'd actually walk into the room by going through the middle of the bookcase. Or we'd put it up against that wall over there. If we do it over there, though, then all of a sudden we end up with this space in here that looks like a door, but doesn't have anything inside of it. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't look like there were shelves. Were there shelves in there? Can you tell? So in the flat area doesn't.
There were no shelves.
Did you set it up yet?
Oh, I took it and laid it all out and looked at it.
Is most of it there?
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's going to require to do some rework, so we're going to have to get rid of it.
But wouldn't that look cool? I just think that'd make an interesting entry piece into it.
And you know what? I think since we have this down
The more you
here-
think about it, the more you know that I'm right.
Yeah.
This will have kind of an eclectic feel all the way across the board. Kind of all as though back in 1899 the hotel opened up, and over the years certain pieces of furniture changed, and you still have some of the old antiques, but you also have some new modern furniture, and of course you've got wireless internet, things like that make it stand out a little bit differently. Elevator. So yeah, I mean the idea was to create something that's just a little bit on the edge but not too trendy.
This is going to be the staging area for where we take all of the product that we've bought for the hotel and move it over to the hotel. Everything from televisions and radios for the bedrooms to all the furniture that's going to supply each room. Rob kind of had a vision of what he wanted the hotel to look like from the amenities. That includes the furnishings to the clock radios to the fixtures in the bathrooms, and they all had to kind of work together with each other. And so there was quite a bit of time spent on looking at furniture that was very comfortable and warm and inviting, but also a little bit eclectic, and the fabrics used and the type of furniture that we purchased, as well as some of the other products like LCD televisions that are going to be part of all the rooms.
Each room is a design in itself, and each room requires attention to the point to where it's exhausting. It's overwhelming sometimes. And we only have 36 rooms here, but as you go into each room, you're going to find that ambiance and that flavor changes with each room. And in order to do that, you've got to pay an extreme amount of attention to the aesthetics of the room and then how everything integrates. And it's very, very difficult. And I think when people walk around here, they're going to be looking around every corner and they're going to see something surprising. And they're going to say, yeah, that makes sense. And that's kind of what you want. That's the comment you want.
I didn't want to have people walk in here and feel like they were stepping into a museum. I wanted people to walk in and feel like, yeah, this is just a really cool old hotel. I can tell it's an old hotel building. It's got great features to it. It's got interesting artwork. We're going to try to use a lot of local art, as well as even some European artwork in here. We've tried to do things that made it really comfortable. So it has like the feeling of an old lodge in some respects, but it also has some of the modern feel of a new hotel.
One of the smallest details, and probably one of the biggest hurdles, is you're not just going to go through a magazine and start picking out furniture. You're actually going to be going around the country, as Rob has, and buying furniture. Those are rugs, those are antique furniture, armoires, you know, lamps, everything like that. And then you have to start that intricate part of starting to place those in each room. That's huge from a design point of view, you know, so that when you walk in here and you have a room, everything clicks. Nothing sticks out of joint.
There was really a thought process that involved bringing something to the guests that they wouldn't normally expect in a hotel room, or that they maybe didn't have. One of the things that's unique about the Montvale is that we're going to create an experience for the guest, and that includes giving them some things they normally wouldn't have at their house. Rob's been looking for items for probably the last 2 or 3 years. Once he figured out that that the Montvale is going to become a hotel, that's when he said, I'm going to start looking for real unique pieces to kind of furnish out the hotel and, again, give it that distinctive flavor.
Well, when the hotel opens and the guests arrive here, I want people to experience something that is really unique to their hotel stays. I want them to feel like they're in a very comfortable, kind of cozy, comfortable environment, while still having all the modern amenities and even sort of a modern feel to it in some ways. It was an interesting building. I wonder how fast they built the thing. I mean, I wonder if at the time it was real easy. I tell you, when we've been down in the basement of this, working on catacombs, working on the elevator pit, and working on an eventual additional restaurant for down in the basement, how they took and pulled rocks out of these basements and created these spaces is beyond me. I mean, it took us weeks to create a little 8x8 area for an elevator pit. I mean, to think about 100 by 100, 10,000 square feet of basement that somehow, I guess either through dynamite, horses, or steam shovels, they managed to get down in there and pull this stuff out. But it's a challenge 100 and some years later.
Well, the Montvale Hotel is a significant project because of the visibility and the resurgence of downtown.
The fact that it will be Spokane's oldest hotel, I think, speaks volumes. This is a very well thought out project, and it's going to contribute greatly to the Davenport district. So yes, we're very excited about it.
The Montvale Hotel project would not be where it's at today and will not become what we want it to become without, I think, real intimate, significant relationships with several business partners in the community, from the lenders, which was Spokane Teachers Credit Union, to the relationships that we're building and establishing right now with the Spokane Symphony, with the Fox right across the street, Ella's Supper Club next door, Far West Billiards right below the hotel, the Big Easy kitty corner to us, and even some of the area hotels, the Davenport and the Luso, have just been great business partners with us, and all have been very supportive of this project.
I think more than anything, it's vital that we see successes in Spokane. So whether or not that's a restaurant somebody opens, or it's a .com now, in the new .com world that somebody starts, or it's something that somebody's come up with, I think hopefully people will support it in ways that aren't just slapping somebody on the back, but they're going to the catacombs and they're enjoying the things that are our downtown Spokane, because it has come a long ways. You run into people all the time that really like living in Spokane and have made it their home because they have lots of choices and this is their best choice.
We've really got our sights fixed not on the immediate opening of it, but what it's going to be in 5 years. It's going to be this place to visit. The Montvale is going to have a life to it in and of its own from being just a business, but it's going to also be a draw for guests to come to Spokane and stay. And they're not going to spend all the time at our hotel. They're going to go out and they're going to spend their dollars in other parts of the community, and that's going to be an economic draw to Spokane. Alone from the jobs that we created from the construction side, we're also creating several new jobs with the opening of the hotel. So there's that part of the economic equation too that we're going to be adding to Spokane's economy. And all of that together really helps just boost the entire economy, particularly in downtown Spokane, and even more specifically in that West First area where the hotel's located.
It really is going to be a wonderful, integral piece of a puzzle of Spokane that's going to make Spokane a very cultural, rich place to come and enjoy and be a part of.
Part of it is I'm very grateful and I'm thankful that there have been as many people participating in the project as there have been, people that are really committed to it, people that have definitely gone above board to make the project happen. It's a great thing, and in some respects it's certainly a community effort. I mean, it was a hand-picked community effort, but it's certainly part of the community, and everybody involved in it really has been from this area and has had a big impact on it. And I think I'll feel a sense of great completion and time to move on to find the next project.
Susanna, you can see we're standing in the lobby here, or at least what eventually will become the lobby.
Yeah, this is the private lobby, so that guests can come up in here and use this as really kind of a living room for the hotel. So which actually, when Kirkland Cutter designed the Davenport, that's what he wanted to use that main lobby for, and so that's kind of an important part of these old hotels. Get people out of the rooms and enjoy these common spaces. It's kind of a young, fun, lighthearted place to stay.
Do we need to shoot it in?
Yeah.
Careful. That lined up on where you're going.
Put it right back, right off that baby. Yes. Today was pretty interesting. Today was taking the room from a dusty place where guys were running around trying to cut up pieces of lumber to do the framing around the doors and do some of the finishing touches to the actual structure. The rooms still need to be set up. We have one room set up in the back here that is the way the hotel will look when it's complete. Other than that, we have 35 rooms to set up out of 36. So it's going to be a fast-paced couple days. This is one of the smaller rooms in the hotel because a lot of the other rooms actually have LCD TVs. So the little flat panel will go against this wall. But in this one, we've actually got just a regular television inside this armoire. Area to put some clothing. There's a closet in here. There's a bathroom in this room, obviously. And just kind of a fun room. I wanted to make it so that the colors were light in the summer but warm in the winter. And I think we ended up with a pretty good combination here. What we decided to do is try to make things fairly standard. So this bathroom is really what most of the bathrooms look like in a hotel. They all, though, have this close-up mirror. It's got both sides and it moves around. It's kind of an interesting mirror. They all have the same kind of towels. All the soaps are, for the most part, you actually will have them in a dispenser that's in the back in here. And of course, we have the subway tile in here. Tried to use kind of stainless brush metals in the room to be consistent. And in the two smallest rooms, we tried to use a different kind of tile. So it's got a two-headed shower with blue cobalt tile work in it. We just thought that would be an interesting way to make the smaller rooms feel a little bit different, kind of a little bit special. All the rooms have something in them that makes them unique. These actually came from a friend of mine's warehouse over in Seattle. They had been imported from Denmark, and both of them came out of the same place in Denmark. They're about the same size, and I thought they'd look really interesting, kind of offsetting the fireplace on the other end. But they're all hand-carved, all little pieces, and they're just kind of fun little characters of, kind of lighthearted piece in a way. This is one of the last areas that we're working on. Part of it is it's more difficult because we're using all of the original components in here. So all the rails, there's some bending to them, and all the original posts. We have them, and it's just taking longer to actually repair those than it did to redo the other ones since they were fairly standard. But this is the old stairs. It's got a skylight above it. We're going to the carpet will come up the center, and you'll see the exposed wood along the sides in here. You'll have a large picture in the back underneath the skylight. These are all the original balusters and handrails in this section. We were able to rescue some from some areas and compile it, put it all together in here. And then these are old bookcases. Initially, we had them close together, and you could walk in between them to get into that room. We found that the doors were too high, and the bookshelves were really not big enough. Once we got into this room, it was amazing how big it was in here. So we spread them apart, and we've been doing a lot of repairs to them. Well, it's taken since really March to make all the changes, and here we are in January, so it's about 9.5 months to get it to this point. We've got a few more days left of work. We've got pictures to hang, and we've got touch-up, and we still have some carpet in some of the areas. But other than that, we're pretty much ready to open up.
I think the lobby is going to be welcoming. I think it's going to welcome you into the building. And it'll be a surprise because the lobby's not real big. It's going to be packed full of neat amenities, and it's going to have a lot of surfaces and colors and shapes. It's also going to have antique furniture. It's going to have a beautiful fireplace down there, wonderful carpeting, ceiling, chandeliers. But the surprise is when you walk up those stairs and you walk into this beautiful atrium area, because many times you walk into a hotel lobby and that's the big splash. With the Montvale, that's just a teaser. You walk into that lobby and then you walk up those stairs and you see how beautiful and welcoming and warm it feels in the atrium. And you also get a sense of community because all your rooms look down onto that atrium. So therefore, everything integrates, everything ties together in that this person here is going to meet that person over there. You're not walking down hallways and you know, you're not in wings and stuff like this. Everything's kind of old style, old world, to where everybody is going to come out and they're going to have to look each other in the eye, and they're going to have to smile to each other, and they're going to have to enjoy the experience because basically for the time they're here, they're living together, you know. And so the hotel itself is kind of built on that premise that, you know, you walk in that lobby and this feels good, and you walk up in that atrium and it's like, wow, this is wonderful. This is like a giant living room, you know. And that's kind of what we want to prosper here. We want people to have an experience here. We don't. We want them to go home and we want them to say, God, I stayed at the most fantastic hotel and we learned everything about it, and God, we just want to go back there, you know, that kind of thing. We want it to be a destination place for here in Spokane.
This old building has got some great character. It's got great qualities. It's a great location. Being able to walk to River Park Square, being able to go visit the Davenport and see some of the common areas there. Of course, go to the catacombs and, you know, see what it's like to be in Spokane while learning a little bit about its history, because we certainly want to make the history of the hotel and downtown Spokane and the area a part of that experience. So I want it to be just kind of just feel like it's just an organic, fun, comfortable experience. And if you're a business person, I want to feel like it's got all the modern technologies, but you've got a really private, comfortable room, and you're close to everything. So I think it's got to be a very well-rounded experience for anybody that comes in here. And the next time somebody says, you know, where should we go for a fun weekend someplace? Well, geez, let's go to the Montvale, of course. You know, it's fun. You don't even have to do anything other than stay at the hotel, walk downstairs to eat, walk to the catacombs, and, you know, you can really stay in this one little area.
Working with Rob has really solidified in my mind why I'm back here, because we both think that there's tremendous potential in Spokane to really create some incredible business opportunities. Spokane has so much to offer, and it's so underutilized. And we think that the Montvale is going to be just one of those types of businesses that's going to draw people back, and it's going to be just different enough that I think people are going to really recognize how special Spokane is.
Places like the Montvale kind of represent hope for the community, and I also think it's just an incredible kind of entry piece to people that are coming to visit this place and wanting to know a little bit more about it. More than anything, I want people to have fun and just enjoy being here and kind of experiencing something that's very different than what they'll see in other cities. And for people that live in Spokane, come down and see what the city's all about. I mean, this is all part of the city that we live in, and it's these little pieces make up a really cool downtown that's come back and come a long ways. T-minus 4 days. We have a few more things to do around here, but it's been a great project. It's taken a long time, but it's come together, and it's come together in a way better than I thought it would. It's really I think it's a classic, it's a little gem in downtown Spokane, and it says a lot about our community. It's got a great history to it. The history of it is just, it's a long story, and it's been abandoned for a long time. I think it's great to bring it back to life. It's all part of what we're trying to do, trying to reinvigorate downtown Spokane, and I think it's happening. I think this is a good sign. It's kind of one of the last of the old buildings downtown that needed some serious renovation, and here we are. It's pretty good.
Welcome to the Montvale Hotel, one of Spokane's premier historic resting establishments. Hey, we don't want people just to stay here, we want them to live here for one night.